What's up, everybody? What's going on?
Oh, it's that time we're live?
Yeah, we're live right now.
Oh, ho, ho. Hi, everybody. Haven't seen you all in a long time. Glad to see everybody logging on and saying hello and, getting back in touch with us. It's been a long time since me and the big guy have been together.
How you doing, Becky? Long time, girl.
Hi, Becky. Sorry, my contacts are not really working with me tonight. It's been a long time since him and I have been together. We've been together for, just family-oriented things like, football or, dinners and things like that, but we haven't really touched base on the paranormal stuff in a long time. So it's good to be back together. It's good to see all of you still.
Hey, Mom, how you doing?
Logging on. Yeah, hi, Mom.
All right, this is actually test run of our first podcast that we will be planning on putting up on YouTube. I'll try and edit all that out because obviously if it's up on YouTube, people know it's on YouTube. I don't have to say it, but I'm letting you guys know. So I'm going to try and touch up on some points. What's up, Sarah? How you doing?
Basically, what we're going to be doing is actually touching base on some subjects that you guys may or may not think is interesting. It could be, point in, point against, or it could be agreed. It's basically him and I discussing and arguing our thoughts, our views, our research, everything about the places that we've been, the places that we've, studied about, our beliefs, our just everything. So if, we've said many a time before in our Facebook Lives that, come with us, come at us with some ideas. So now is definitely the best time to do that because it's going to be on a podcast. If you guys
and since
sorry,
weather, because of the weather, our investigations have slowed down quite a bit. So basically, we're just trying to keep you guys abreast on everything and talk about stuff that we've wanted to talk about, discuss on a live forum, stuff like that. Again, we constantly put out there, questions, suggestions, stuff like that. We ask, and this was actually a suggestion from one of our followers. Thank you, Constance, for pointing this route out. This is actually something that would be beneficial for everybody on here.
Mom, sorry, not to cut you off. Mom, yes, it will be very good. This will be a serious conversation. No BS aside. This is gloves off between me and him and anybody who actually wants to participate with the conversation. So, and even though we've been, on Facebook Live for a short time, Joe and I have a lot of experience in this field, and we also have a lot of personal beliefs. We have there's a lot of things that we have to, let out to you guys that we haven't been allowed to before. So this is a new,
It's a whole new format.
This is new territory. Yeah, this is new format. There you go.
And we're kind of excited about it. Obviously, our first few podcasts are, to put it bluntly, we're going to be tripping over our own dicks because we don't know what the hell we're doing. We're just two regular guys sitting here talking.
And Josh, you motherfucker. There's your Scooby-Doo. Go away.
Okay. Okay.
Hey.
Anyway.
It's honest. So
basically how this format's going to work is we are going to go live with our podcast just like we did with our investigations and everything.
Right.
And we also have a camera, set up to actually recording us right now.
Yep.
And at a later time, everything gets moved from here to YouTube. So I know we've been having issues with some of our live feeds and some of our investigations getting lost in the posts, but now we're not going to have that issue anymore because whatever is going to be on here is going right to YouTube. I'll try and get it within a few days. Video editing and stuff like that is a little difficult, and I'm really green, so we're not going to have any more lost footage, lost videos.
yeah,
That's the one that first investigation at Posey. I'm sick to my stomach that we don't have it on here.
and that was a great.
For people who don't know, Posey Chapel and Cemetery is out in LaPorte, Indiana. It's a real small place, beautiful cemetery. That was actually the occasion where I had a shard of headstone thrown at me.
Let me get that.
Okay.
Since we have that. We are in my house. I keep all the remnants of our...
Yes.
This was it, correct?
Yes, that's it
Okay,
right there.
there you go.
Thank you.
Boom.
Okay, so you guys can see, it's right here.
YouTube, there you go.
Okay, for our YouTube followers. This actually was thrown at me and hit me in the foot. And for you who don't remember, here it is. It is right here. Hey Jenna, how you doing? Welcome to the...
I'm the crazy fool that actually keeps this type of stuff in my house. I keep it up on my bookshelf.
Yeah. Welcome to our first podcast, Jenna, and everybody who's participating in this right now.
Very, very happy to see y'all.
Again, the people who miss it, you can follow it up on here later, or you can wait for the finished product to come out on YouTube. Either way, we're running under Fourth Kind Profiles, Southlake Paranormal. That's what everybody knows. Welcome. I guess we're just gonna jump right into it. If you guys got any comments or anything like that, I have my phone out this way. I have live up-to-date comments. This way none of them get lost in the mix. But we're going to jump right into it. The elephant in the room in Northwest Indiana is... Ooh. Volume all the way.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Okay, there you
go. The elephant in the room in Northwest Indiana is this whole demon house. Okay? Dude Bro from a...
Dude Bro?
We're just going to refer to him as Dude Bro. I don't feel like getting sued.
Well, I'm just saying, what is a Dude Bro?
You remember one of our followers that came here for the meet and greet, and she called that show the Dude Bros because everything they say is either dude or bro?
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm just going to refer to him as Dude Bro.
Dude Bro.
He's...
Four Eyes.
Yes. Frodo.
Four Eyes Paranormal.
Okay, either way, he's the host and lead investigator of one of the most popular paranormal shows on TV right now, and it's on a very popular cable channel. I'm very sure if you follow us, you've seen his show. It's just kind of how it is.
Probably why you see our show and start following us, because you think he's full of shit.
Yeah. And again, that is the elephant in the room in Northwest Indiana. Apparently, this house is possessed, and the people that lived there became possessed. And there was 2 exorcisms, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
2 of them.
There was one with the family in the house, and then one
on
after.
the mother.
There was one on the mother, which
Has nothing to do with anything.
It
in
had
the house.
absolutely nothing to do with anything that was going on in the house. And then when Frodo appeared, Southlake Four Eyes, or whatever, Paranormal Four Eyes, whatever you guys want to call them. Then all of a sudden they did another one on the house. Mm-hmm. But they didn't have all of the remnants that they found the first time. That,
I don't know.
Okay, this is where I get really kind of deep into this, and I'm sorry if I take any of your time or anything else like that, but
we got time.
So
it's a podcast.
If any of you have actually watched the movie and definitely watch the unedited cut, because the unedited cut makes you feel more like a fool than the regular cut does.
Yeah.
Sorry. When they did the first exorcism on the mother, Gary Police Department went down into the basement and started digging. For what reason, we have no idea. There was no warrant. There was no reason for them to go digging, but apparently they went
said
digging.
It was a curious circumstance because there was loose dirt under the stairs and the rest of the basement was concrete.
Okay, but still, I mean,
the
way that things go in the end.
know.
You need a warrant to actually do that.
Yeah, but if you're welcomed into the house, it really doesn't matter.
You might be right. I'm not exactly.
Either way, they started digging.
They did. Yeah,
And
they did.
They found a bunch of shit.
So they did an exorcism on the mother, which absolutely nothing was happening to the mother at that particular point in time. So just kind of follow the timeline here and follow the circumstances. And they found some shit, and then they found a nail, like a press-on nail.
Yeah.
Now, when they went back and, they looked for the same artifacts under the stairs, the basement stairs, they found everything but the press-on nail, and they were trying to push that off as that's why it didn't work. Okay. Let me explain something to y'all people, okay? Just because of the fact that you have a 6-inch press-on nail from Walgreens does not mean that an exorcism is not going to work. It makes no damn bit of sense. There's no intelligence behind that statement whatsoever.
What's going on, Stelana? Look, here's my problem with it. Okay, there were two exorcisms performed. Okay,
correct.
And supposedly, this guy got sanctioned from the Vatican to do so.
No,
that's my fucking point.
Okay, see,
how is a Catholic priest going to perform an exorcism on one, a house, two, on people without Vatican decree?
He was authorized from the Bishop of Indiana.
Okay.
Okay, that actually states that in the unedited version. He was authorized by the Bishop of Indiana.
Exactly.
Who the fuck is the Bishop of Indiana?
Who would also need permission from the Vatican in order to do that.
Actually make it a real exorcism. I just destroyed my phone, but okay. To actually make it a real exorcism, you have to have authorization from the Vatican. This has been since the 16th century, people. I mean, this is not something that is new. It's just the fact that, most people that sit here and listen to this BS think, oh, well, it's a bishop, so he must have authorization. No, it has to be authorized through the Vatican. So I'm asking right here on Facebook Live and YouTube, who in the hell from the Vatican actually authorized any of the exorcisms of this house to make it official? Don't worry, I'll wait.
And the funny thing is, I actually did, now Joe didn't know this, I actually did try to get hold of this priest. Okay?
Oh, I know, because you told me. You did tell me.
I guess I did.
Yeah, you did.
I've been scatterbrained lately, my bad.
That's cool.
But I tried to get hold of this priest. Alright? Now, you're a priest. You're not supposed to make money. All right, whatever money you take in is supposed to go to your parish. He would not talk without a tithing. Basically, we would have to pay.
$100 up front.
Okay?
To even get in the same room with this fool, $100 up front.
Yes. 2, this same priest signed a movie deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what kind of credibility do you have as a Catholic priest if you do an exorcism trying to help people and then you sign the rights away to a fucking movie?
You're a jackass.
This is my problem with clergy. Okay? This is my problem. I don't have a problem with the faith. I don't have a problem with the dogma of it. Maybe a little bit. My issue is the clergy. It's all about money. And they will twist a story in order to bring more money in. So, you tell me where the hell they got permission to actually do this exorcism. Okay?
Exactly.
Alright, if it came from the bishop, that's fine. Where did he get it? Because there sure as hell there was no investigation done by the Catholic Church on the house or on the people, okay, to even come close to sanctioning an exorcism.
There are two in history, okay, and all of you paranormal investigators that want to say that you're, big time shit and everything else like that, look it up. Tell me I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. Be my guest. There are 2 full-fledged exorcisms in the Catholic history. 2 of them. And this ain't one of them. So, if this priest got acceptance from the bishop had to get acceptance from the cardinal, and the cardinal had to get acceptance from the pope, and the pope is in the fucking Vatican. So you're going to tell me that all happened in a 2-week span?
Well, that's the thing. There is an investigator in Chicago, okay?
And he was never here.
Exactly. He was never called. He never did the investigation on the house.
Exactly. And he is a cardinal, so I will give him that.
Dude, again, my issues with the clergy, it's a fucking rank, like the military.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not who you know, it's who you blow.
That's very true.
So,
especially in the Catholic religion. Oh my God! Sorry if I'm actually popping some of you guys, but you do blow a little bit, more ways than one. So that's
anyway,
all I'm saying.
So now we've hit on this priest. Okay, you guys, if you research Demon House, you can find out who this priest is. I'm not going to name him by name again.
No, because he's probably going to go ahead and try to sue us for millions of dollars that we don't have, and then
go ahead, dude.
Yeah,
you
whatever.
Can't fucking get blood out of a turnip, but whatever. Yeah. Just for legal issues, we're not going to name the name.
Oh, here's the other thing, and you actually mentioned this. You actually brought my attention to this. Not to cut you off, but when you look up the priest that did the 2 exorcisms on this house, and how he actually became a priest, look up his history before him actually joining the priesthood.
I brought that up. He had
see how demented this fucker is.
Yeah, he had charged with, what the hell was he charged with? Oh, that's what it was. This guy was supposed to be investigated for
child molestation,
yes,
or something along those lines.
Child molestation.
The sex ring type shit.
Yes.
I think that's what it was.
And the church actually covered it up. They denied the investigation.
Now, this was back around the Clinton days that he got into the... Not saying anything bad about Clinton. I know he got his dick sucked and everything, but I mean, still. He was a decent president. That's when I joined the military. But still, shit was kind of messed up at that point, and still nobody really had, access to anybody else at that particular point in time.
Well, the fact of the matter is, this priest was supposed to be investigated
Yes.
for child molestation charges.
Yes.
Okay? And the Catholic Church denied them. They pretty much claimed sanctuary.
Yep.
Okay? So, now, you got this guy who's, we've all got our scruples, but I'm sorry, I've never touched a fucking 7-year-old boy. Okay?
You haven't?
No.
Neither have I.
Apparently,
My son was taken from me when I was 5. When he was 5.
When you were 5?
Yeah, when I was 5. When he was 5. I'm sorry.
but
So,
either way, you got this priest that was supposed to be investigated and it got covered up by the Catholic Church. Now, doing these exorcisms that supposedly has been sanctioned by the Catholic Church that have never even been investigated.
Not to mention the fact that if you watch the exorcisms on the... Man, I don't even know what to call that movie anymore.
Call it what it is. You know, it's a
This jackass of a documentary, okay? If that's an exorcism, I'm your daddy. That's just all there is to it. I mean, those are so the sermon that he's actually, you know, or whatever they call it, that he's reciting is so asinine. There's no... If I was a demon, there's no way that I'm going to listen to what it is that he's saying. Okay? And then you bring Morton salt.
Yeah.
Okay?
Funny part. They stopped over at Walgreens and got a thing of Morton salt.
Salt is a big, you know, defiler of the evil.
It can be.
I didn't know Morton's was that damn special, dude. You brought Morton's salt. Like the shit that I put on my steak every night. You bring Morton's salt. You couldn't even do kosher? I mean,
Well,
you
Jewish.
cheap motherfucker.
It's Jewish.
But still.
These are Catholics.
Sea salt?
Yeah. Either way. You know, yes, salt is supposed to be a barrier and all this, but...
Carrie. All right.
The movie Carrie?
You know what? Time out for a little bit, because obviously, like what we see here on the computer and what we see on the camera, we're missing a few questions from you guys. We do have our devices out here to actually get some questions from you guys, so I want to stop every once in a while and actually get your questions answered. And
Hey, Ma, are we still freezing up? You said we're freezing up.
no, we are not. I did get that message from her. We are not.
Okay.
Pretend doctor. Okay, just logging in. What did I miss? Tim, you missed a lot. We'll catch you up later since you're part of the group anyway. Stefania, oh how I've missed you too. Well, come on over, baby.
Keep your ass at home.
Yeah, keep your ass up. We're good.
And to our, you know, our YouTube viewers, we're trying to catch up on the comments from our Facebook Live feed that we have going on right now. So, only be a second or so. Hey, Bruce, what's going on, brother?
Okay, so we're pretty much caught up. There's no real questions yet. So I assume
reunited and it feels so good. Yes, it does. Finally.
Yeah, it does. It's
been no too long.
We've talked on the phone a lot. I've obviously, I mean, some of you guys are on my actual personal page. I've had medical issues, I've had personal issues, everything else of that nature, and I'm obviously back up and running. Joe has been a great support through that entire time, so we have talked, we have stayed in contact, but I mean, as far as the paranormal thing has been concerned, we just haven't it's never crossed our minds. So now that I'm back up and running to the most of my ability and Joe has some free time, we're back, we're rocking and rolling, you know, and we, as far as we can see, we don't intend on leaving again. So, I mean, you know, this is it. We're kicking it off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make moves in my private life to free up time.
Yeah, he's trying to make movies. That's what he just said. He's trying to make movies in his
Moves.
private life.
I said moves.
So log into Pornhub, fourthkind.com. He said movies.
No.
Tell me I'm wrong. He said movies.
Tell him he's wrong. I said moves. Either way,
I ain't gonna.
I'm trying to do shit in my private life to free up some spare time so we can focus on this a little bit more.
I ain't gonna watch. Y'all, just post in the comments what you see, okay?
Anyway, getting back. Getting back. So then we touched on, God, I don't even want to use that phrase when I'm talking about this guy. Now that we've talked about this priest, now we can talk about the house that
She said movies.
no longer exists.
The Indiana Heckle and Jekyll brothers.
Yeah. Sound like
Fuck
movies
you
to
two,
me.
Tim.
Alright, sure. Alright. This house that no longer stands. Okay.
I don't know nothing.
He,
Yeah, getting down.
apparently this guy, he bought the house. Alright. This famous host of this famous paranormal show.
Yeah.
Bought the house.
For Eddie Munster.
Okay. Claimed he tore it down, claiming he didn't want the house to harm anybody else, but kind of failed to mention that the city of Gary condemned the house and told him to bring it back up to code, otherwise it would have to be torn down.
Yeah. Okay. Let me add on to that. Okay. So me personally, I live 10 minutes away from this house. We can actually take the camcorder, we can take whatever device that you want, and I can actually take you on a ride to go and see the Demon House property. Okay? It's not that far away from me. So, in essence, I'm going to hear what's going on with shit that's around my house. Okay? So, what he failed to tell you is, one, he bought it as a rental property. This was not this is not a own, like, what do they call that? Like, a first person buyer type thing. This was bought and it was listed as a rental property. Which, again, if you look at the unedited version of the Demon House movie, you will see that if you pay attention enough, because he goes and he actually meets the previous owner of the rental property. So that's number one. Number two, if you've ever had a rental property in the state of Indiana, you all know that it is rather dilapidated, rather not taken care of. It's some bad shit. So number three, and this is the biggest thing in this movie. This is where Frodo gave everything away. He had investigators come into his house, whether it be
He had a home inspector come to the house.
yeah, he had home inspector. He had asbestos inspectors, mold inspectors. Just anybody that he could think of, and they all came back positive. There was positive for black mold. There was positive for asbestos. There was positive for
Carbon monoxide.
And he sat there right on the movie and said, the inspectors told him anywhere past 15 minutes exposed in that house can cause severe medical issues. So you just gave your whole story away right there. That's number one.
And
number
hallucinations.
and hallucinations, yes. So, and number two, he owned the house for a little over a year to possibly 2 years. That part is kind of shady. But in the state of Indiana, if you actually own a rental property for that is abandoned for anywhere between the time of a year to 2 years, you have to demolish the house, or you have to fix it up to get it properly ready for another renter. And this jackass says, well, I demolished the house because I don't want it to hurt anybody anymore. No, you dumb fuck. You were facing a $10,000 fine from the city of Gary because it was under code, and it's stated as a rental property. You fucked up. So most of your story is completely annihilated right there. Period. So I me as an investigator of the same thing that you claim to be an investigator of, how do you explain that? I would love to see him on this podcast to come back and, hey, this is how I explain this.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have enough money to pay him to be on it.
Well,
but my problem is,
if he was worth his scrotum, he would actually come here without any
my problem is with him, when they first started that show, okay, they were genuine in their mission. And now it has just become completely ratings driven. And it's sad. It is. It's really sad.
Sad what the tiger did? Tim, can you explain
the tiger? Yeah, I read that.
Can you explain that comment? Sad what the tiger did? There was no tiger in that movie, so I'm kind of interested in what you're talking about there. I'm going to hit the bathroom. I'll be right back for the YouTube channel.
Go ahead.
God, I'm old.
Yeah.
What?
Careful.
I'm being careful. I gotta check my kids too.
Good. But yeah, I mean, now it's kind of turned into a farce. I mean, it is entertaining at best, but that's really about it. And then getting back to this whole demon house thing. It's just there's so many inconsistencies in this documentary. Like first he wanted to talk to the family, he was able to talk to the family, had permission to talk to the family, and now he can't talk to them anymore because they have a movie deal. The people he could talk to, the only way he could talk to them is if he paid them. So you tell me, okay, do you think you're going to get an honest interview out of somebody who got paid to speak on something that you're trying to make money off of? No. It's wow, without having him here to play off of, I'm kind of stumbling on my words. It's funny. But there's, thank you. Dude, you walked away and it's like I got tongue-tied.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's weird.
That's why we're a team.
Yeah.
So what's the problem? Where'd you get tongue-tied?
No, I was just talking about when the only people he was able to interview are the ones that he actually paid to interview.
Okay. When you look at that movie, first and foremost, he buys the house. He talks to squatters that are in the house. The owners of the house weren't the problem. It was the squatters. So then he had to pay $20 to one of the squatters to actually tell him a story about the house. But yet, now, try to follow this because this is going to be a little sketchy.
Go on.
All this stuff happened in the house, and all this stuff happened to his crew in the house. But yet, you have squatters in the house, and it wasn't just one squatter, it was multiple squatters in the house which if y'all don't know what squatters are, they're homeless people that find an abandoned house and they sleep there. They live there, more or less. So he has multiple squatters in the house. Nothing is happening to any of these squatters whatsoever. But all of a sudden, he brings his crew into the house and shit starts happening.
Yeah.
That's phase one of, major bullshit. Then he brings home inspectors into the house, and the home inspectors don't have anything happen to them, but they find black mold, they find asbestos, they find carbon monoxide, they find black mold in the heaters that are coming up through the vents. And if y'all don't know anything about black mold, if you actually add heat to black mold, it spreads. Which means now it's in the heat vents, and if y'all didn't notice, when he actually bought the house, he turned the electricity on, which that had water-based or waterboard heat. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a big vent that goes across your wall, and it's almost
like steam heat.
Yeah, think of an electric stove. You know how the rails heat up. It's done by water, but heat transfers and it creates more black mold, which creates more carbon monoxide, which creates more problems. Well, when he bought the house and he went in there, he turned the electricity on and he turned the water on. He turned all the utilities on. So now you have growing carbon monoxide, you have growing asbestos, and you have growing black mold. 3 problems. Well, actually 4 problems there. Because the people that were living there before you actually showed up didn't have any issues. As soon as you turn the electricity on, everybody is supposedly having issues. Now, here comes that shadow thing on the fucking... I'm sorry about my language, but the shadow thing going from the hallway to the bathroom. And then
that's what Tim was talking about.
Yeah, then you have some jackass that makes some big scene in a hotel that he has the devil coming after him and he wants to go back to the house. Okay. I'm curious, and this is a question to our panel here. Have any of you gone and actually found his name and looked him up?
This is interesting.
I'm assuming no, because you were just that disgusted with the movie and just didn't, pay attention to it. But I'll go ahead and I'll tell you. He's a paid model. Satanic, devilish, metal model. Paid. Let me say that one more again. Paid model. Okay? He's a paid actor. He's a paid model. It's all bullshit. Okay? You can go, if you get his name off of the Frodo movie, you can go to his Facebook profile. He is a paid fucking model. He has no clout whatsoever. Okay? So, there's 5 things that completely deny this whole thing. Now you come to the end of the movie. He was boarded in the house at 8:30 at night. He doesn't actually see anything until 5:30 the next morning, and all of a sudden what you hear is some type of creaking. Let me say that again. He hears some type of creaking in a boarded up house at 5:30 in the morning, and then sees a shadow moving across the wall.
That the camera conveniently goes blurry.
And you can't see. So 8:30 at night, or 8 o'clock at night, till 5:30 in the morning, nobody comes in the house, but, he's only supposed to be locked in the house for 12 hours. Nobody hears anything from him during said time. It sounds like the creaking noise sounds like somebody pulling nails out of a board or, opening up that front door. And then all of a sudden he sees a shadow in front of on his wall, and the camera goes dim. And then all of a sudden you see a big ass act that, oh my God, my eyes hurt so bad, blah, 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 blah. Do you know how many episodes that I've seen him past this demon house that he's not wearing those glasses and his eyes don't hurt him? Just saying. There's a lot of bullshit about this house, and there's a lot of bullshit about this story. So, I mean, obviously you guys can see where I'm going with this. I'm very interested in arguments. I'm very interested in Joe's side of it. It's all bullshit to me. Total BS.
I agree. Tim, I agree with you on that. One of our followers commented, he said, the change in temperature causes boards to creak in old houses.
Yep.
That's 100% right.
Yep.
And it was an old ass house. It's just the way it is. There's too many things that can be explained away. And it's kind of ironic to almost every episode this guy has now, including the demon house. Mm-hmm. Somehow he gets possessed. Let me tell you something, okay? The shit that Joe and I have experienced, and the stuff we've come across, if it hasn't happened to us, I highly doubt it's going to happen to him on every fucking investigation. Okay? And if it is, dude, find a new fucking profession, because you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You're a straight up fucking idiot. Excuse the language again, but I mean, here's the thing. I'm more.
And again, this is not for kids.
Yeah, I'm more of the devil guy than Joe is. He's a religious guy. Okay. I played around with devil worshipping and everything else of that nature. It was a stupid time in my life, and I'm not proud of it, but it's something that I did. Okay. And I never got possessed. Not once. Now, have I, mentally seen things, or maybe you can put them off as I hallucinated this, or I, might have seen this, or might have seen that, or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. But you're going to tell me that this moron gets possessed every single freaking episode that he has, and there's probably somewhere around 94 episodes on Comcast. I can actually look this up right now.
There's got to be more. I think they're in their 10th, 15th season.
Yeah.
So they're well over 150 episodes.
Okay, so 150 episodes, and you're going to tell me that this fool gets possessed or touched on every single episode, everywhere he goes? Okay, let me explain something to you. There are some places that you go, Frodo, and this is talking directly to Frodo. If he ever actually, okay. This is talking directly to Frodo. If you ever actually see this on YouTube, which you and I have talked on Facebook, and you and I have already had a problem. If you're getting possessed at every single place that you go, you're a freaking idiot. And you have no business being in this field. You have no business doing this. You need to sell your museum. You're a jackass. Because you don't know jack shit about what it is that you're doing. And you're just as half-assed as these people that come out here from high school that say, oh, I want to have a cute little scare for tonight and, go home with my girlfriend. That's about as far as you've gone in this field. You haven't done any study. You're not professional. You're an idiot. And you're bringing along all these people on your little jackass hunt. You're a joke. I don't know. I don't know how much better to word this to you. You're a joke.
Well, apparently my partner feels strongly about this guy. So.
Yeah, I do. I do. I've had arguments with him on Facebook. He's actually responded to me and called me some bad words, and I've called him some bad words. You're a joke, dude. That's just all there is to it. That's what I feel. Sorry.
It's alright. But, I want to be completely honest with you. I'm probably going to keep watching. Like I said, it is pretty good entertainment value, so I'm going to give it to you on that one.
It puts me to sleep at night. I will give you I will give you this, Frodo. When I go to sleep at night, we sleep with the TV on. We put your show on so we can go to sleep. So thank you for that. You do put me to sleep.
Well, I guess you can't be too pissed about this podcast because he is getting paid off of it.
Well, his name hasn't been put out there yet, so no, he
No.
hasn't been paid yet.
No, but I think everybody knows who we're talking about. So.
What, Frodo?
Yes.
Well, we are covering our own behinds.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna try and move along with this.
You want to move on to something that we've actually...
Yeah. We can talk about some of our past investigations, some stuff that we want to go to. We've been talking about going to. Falling through.
Let's see what you guys say, because we have opinions. They just opened up the Conjuring House for investigation. We can talk about that.
Where is that house?
That's in England, unfortunately.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah.
That one is like a definitive.
Yeah, that house is pretty
house.
fucked up.
Yeah, that's a definitive fucked up house. We can talk about the Amityville case. We can talk about what is that? Elaine in the other.
The Warrens.
With the Warrens, we can talk about them because I have very, very good knowledge about the Warrens due to my mother. My mother was an awesome follower of the Warrens, researcher of the Warrens. This is how I grew up. We can talk about the Amityville house, the Amityville case.
Let's leave it to our Facebook.
Or we can talk about places that we've been here around the area that maybe you guys might want to look at. So do your own little investigations. You can talk about my house, what I have going on here.
I'm good.
Yeah, I know you do. Like, you refuse to do an investigation here.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Go ahead, ask him why he refuses to do an investigation here at my house. See?
Well, I'll tell you why.
Oh, the Hoser Files, too. We can talk about the Hoser Files.
Yes, I'm actually a pretty big fan of that show.
I am, too. I really want to get a hold of those files, actually.
Good luck, because now they're,
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of a really messed up situation. That was.
Whoa, wait a minute.
What?
Hi, sis. How you doing?
Who?
My sister. Haven't seen you in how many years, but I see that you just logged in and said hello, so.
What the hell are you talking about?
How you doing?
I don't see her on here.
She's on my phone.
Go on. Go lay down.
Andrew, move. Go to bed.
Alright. About a year and a half ago, a little bit longer than that, I was going through some shit in my personal life. And before that, Joe and I kind of lost contact a little bit because of the situation I was in at home. And I can tell you this is probably why we are as close as we are, because there was about 10 years that we had minimal communication. And
wow, was it really that long?
yeah.
Shit.
And when I started going through what I was going through at home, it was like, it wasn't even like a day passed between him and I, and Jamie, his wife, and I. Open doors, open arms, you know, and they were a part of a group that actually, you know, helped me through my issues. But during that time, we started kicking around the idea of investigating again. And it was one of the nights I really couldn't go home. So I was here, and we started just bullshitting about it, and he's like, well, fuck it, let's just do it here. You know, instead of going somewhere else. Because there's stuff going on here.
288 episodes on Comcast DVR right now.
Holy shit.
Of Frodo.
Wow.
Sorry, not to cut anybody off, but we wanted to be 100% sure. 288 episodes of bullshit.
But anyway, they said there is stuff going on here, in this very house.
Yes.
And we decided to do a little mini investigation, and it broke really, really fucking bad. And
I heard this secondhand, so
I at the time weighed about 340 pounds, and it got to the point to where I had to hold him down, laying on he was on his stomach, I'm laying on his back trying to, you know, keep him
and Jamie said
in control.
I was throwing up at the time too, or I was throwing up uncontrollably, or something along those lines.
I don't remember that. But
again, like I said,
with his back
hand.
issues, it should have never been possible. He stood up like I was a fucking backpack from high school. It was crazy. We had to call his roommate up here to try and, you know, keep him
Yes, Tim, it's from the book.
secured.
It's on my phone. Yes, it is from the book. You're one of the only people that actually know that, but we'll release that here as it comes. Yes, it is from the book that we fucked around with. Yes, it is. It is something that has followed us, and for some reason it became very, very violent that night, and that is the second time in a 12-year period that it has become violent. So if my ex-wife ever actually sees this YouTube, she can attest to this, even though her and I don't agree whatsoever on anything. This is the one thing that she will agree with and attest to. So yeah, it has something to do with the book. That is a fact. At least that's my opinion. Because like I said, I heard of all of this secondhand. I woke up the next morning and my wife was sleeping in in Phoenix's room and holding on to her like, you know, her life depended on it. And when I came in and looked at her, she grabbed onto Phoenix like for dear life, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I had to be informed of everything that day. So Tim, you knowing me and Joe knowing me the way that you guys know me, that hurt pretty bad. So it was something. 12 years, what was the day, and try to find the star alignment. No, there's no freaking star alignment. Tim, quit thinking that far into it, okay? The bottom line of it is, we got a hold of a book that was supposed to be bullshit on conjuring whatever it is that you wanted to bring forth. it ended up, it was not bullshit. I'm not going to say what happened the night that we did it on video. I can say that on the phone to you. But I remember the night that we did it, and it followed me, and the weird thing is about the whole situation is it does things to people that have done wrong to mainly me or my family. The first time it attacked my ex-wife. My ex-wife still has the scars on her neck. At that particular time, I was a truck driver and I was in Washington. And I ended up getting flown back home because she called dispatch and told them what was going on, and they ended up getting a hold of me and rushing me to a airport, and I was flown home because by the police report she was literally attacked. But the problem is with the attack, and that nobody could understand, she had choke marks, like finger marks on her neck. Well, if you look, I'm trying to get the camera here, there's 4 fingers. So if I was to choke, it'd be 4 and 1. She had 6 and 6. And she still has those scars to this day. So, it's, I know what she told me, what she saw, and what she experienced, and everything else like that. But again, due to respect to her, I'm not going to go any farther than that. So, that's the first time that it attacked. Apparently, from what these guys tell me, this is the second time, and I don't know jack shit about what went on that night. So that's what it is. That's where I'm going to leave it. Big Joe, have Joe call me later.
Yeah.
After you both are done with the live cast. Maybe. It's late.
Well, basically, make a long story short, some really messed up stuff went down that night. And I refuse to investigate in this house. I won't do it. Joe has tried over and over again to talk me into it, and I won't do it. You know. There's investigations that we've done multiple times in the same place that I can't go to anymore because of the effects. We are both pretty sensitive to this stuff. You know, we can walk into a location and pretty much know if there's something there or not.
Jamie's the worst.
Yeah,
Jamie's
Jamie's
the
really
worst.
strong with it. But yeah, I won't investigate here anymore.
I would seriously like to, just to get it over and done with.
Again, then put it out for the guest investigators if you guys want to, and take the chance.
Oh yeah. I strongly invite any guest investigators, come at it. Come here. Do it.
Yeah, I won't do it.
The biggest thing, and I will say this, I don't, like, when the shit happened to me at Posey, Joe and I had a big discussion about, and Posey, either we can talk about it in this podcast or we can talk about it in another. But when the stuff happened to me at Posey, we had a big discussion about, whether it was malevolent or not. That time, I can tell you, I mean, I was pretty aware of what was going on, and I didn't feel anything malevolent whatsoever. I felt that it was more of an oops than it was anything else. Like whatever it was that happened or took over or anything else like that, it was like a first trial. Like I'm an auto mechanic, so you get a car that has 680 horsepower and you hit the gas and all of a sudden you hit a wall, you're like, oops, I didn't know it was going to do that. I didn't know it was going to react that way. That's kind of the way that it felt at Posey. And the same thing goes here. And I don't remember much of what happened here. It's been all secondhand of what's been told to me, but I think that it was an overreaction because I don't remember feeling violent or violated or different that whole night. I think it was more a reaction of fear more than it was anything else. That's why I want to do a serious investigation here and give it another chance. But obviously I can't do that on my own, so it just is what it is.
This house is completely different than Posey. We've done Posey 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
The first investigation is the one that he's talking about, which is the same one that I had the shard thrown at me.
There you go.
But
No.
I
don't need that.
I did pull the plug on it quite early after that stuff happened with him.
Well, plus that we had those high school kids show up, and we had a serious problem then because there was just
a lot
too
of
much
contamination. But
yeah,
that was the second time. That wasn't even the first time. The first time
we've been there so many times at this point, it's kind of hard to.
The first time it was the 3 of us. It was you, me, and Kristen.
No, I thought that was the second time.
It was the first time.
That was okay. My bad.
And then when that stuff happened to Joe, I pulled the plug on it fairly quickly. Yep. Instead of actually just stopping the live feed, getting our bearings, trying to figure out what the hell actually happened, and then once realizing that there was really nothing malevolent, we could have continued the investigation. I cut it off.
Okay.
I think a lot of that had me kind of trigger happy because of the stuff that happened here, but either way, it's something that we tried to rectify over the next 2 investigations over there.
Shelly, how you doing? I'm trying to keep up with you guys. And Tim, no, not the very last investigation. The first investigation that we did at Posey. Joe had a shard of a tombstone.
Came off a tombstone.
Yeah, he had a shard of a tombstone actually thrown at him physically, and we had to go and hunt it down. Unfortunately, that video somehow lost its way on Facebook, and
which is another reason why we're doing the YouTube feed.
Yeah, now we're doing the YouTube feed.
This way we have all the videos, and at least they're archived, and they can be found somewhere.
Yeah.
So, like I said, when we go live for our investigations, there's also going to be somebody there running the camera. I'm working my ass off on trying to get night vision.
Yeah, and understand something too. When something gets, and this isn't trying to buff me or Big Joe up, okay? When something happens to us, or we get we get pushed, or we get thrown, or we get something thrown at us, understand something, guys. I'm 6 foot 202. He's 6 foot about
320 now.
320. Okay. If something hits us, it's got to be a pretty stout hit for us to actually even register the fact that it actually hit us. We're not small guys by any means. So if something happens to where we get pushed or we get hit or we get, something thrown at us or something along those lines, it's got to be pretty legit for us to actually say what the hell. And when he got hit with this, okay, here, this is trying to get it as close to the camera as I can.
It's about 4 inches long and about 2.5 inches wide.
There you go. My finger compared to this is my first finger. Okay, it's about as long as my first finger. Okay, you see this, and then with my first finger again, I've got big hands. I've got automotive. I've got mechanic hands. This thing is not small by any means. I mean, he got hit with this in the calf and
in the foot.
Or in the foot, yeah. And he immediately knew it. I mean, he buckled a little bit, like, what the hell's going on here? Like something actually like punched him in the leg. So for something to hit him that hard, and this is what we found what was to hit him, it's pretty substantial. So, and why I keep it here, I have no idea, but I do.
It's either staying here or it's going back to Posey, because it's not going to my house. That's for damn sure. But, hey,
man. For some odd reason, I keep things from every place that we've gone. And maybe I'm a little like Frodo at that point, but I actually keep things that actually affected us, which this is one of the things that actually affected us at some point. Just kind of like the same thing, if you actually ever followed our Facebook live feed, that picture that we took at the last investigation of Posey, and you could see a mist of a face come up. I still have that on my phone to this day. I'm not going to let it go. That is something that I cannot explain.
I said it's the freaking Holy Grail, man. That's the stuff that is what we look for.
Yeah.
You know?
Keep, Tim, you're saying to keep what? Are you talking about this little stone, or are you talking about the photo?
Something about the shard, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep the shard. I don't have a problem with it. It sits on, like I said, it sits on my DVD case. Along with other things that have, affected us at some point in time. So. Okay, so we've gone through Demon House. You guys really haven't had much to say about Demon House except that you basically agree with us.
Yeah.
Anything else we might actually cover?
I was fully expecting.
I was fully expecting too. Demon House is just a joke.
We kicked around. For the longest time, we've been kicking around Mantino Insane Asylum. Got everybody hyped up on that. That's my bad on that one.
Yeah. That's our bad.
Logistically, it doesn't make sense for us to do it. We're talking about the Mantino Insane Asylum in Mantino, Illinois.
Yeah.
The stipulations that we needed to follow to do the investigation, it was pointless to do it. If we found anything, we couldn't share it. And if we found nothing, well, it's a win-win for the owners. There's absolutely no upside to doing that other than the experience itself.
And the other thing, like after doing a lot of investigation on this, and I seriously mean a lot, we ended up finding that the asylum itself is not what is having the problems. It's the graveyard that is about 5 miles down from the asylum that is, it's connected to the asylum, don't get me wrong, but that's where they're having the issues. And that's where they're having, most of the sightings, most of the noises, the hauntings, whatever it is that you want to call it, that's where they're having most of the problems. They're not having the problems in the actual asylum itself anymore. And if you look up Illinois history or Manteno history or whatever the case may be, the Manteno Asylum history, Manteno Asylum actually housed a lot of veterans, and there are somewhere, I don't remember the exact number, so I'm not going to actually spew anything out there, but there are a number of unmarked graves of veterans that spent time there at Manteno Asylum, and they're now in this graveyard, and that's what's actually causing the problems, because nobody remembers them or knows their story or anything else of that nature. So, and then when you go and you look at the actual map for Manteno Asylum, this graveyard doesn't even show up. But then when you look at the map of Manteno, the city itself, and then you find where Manteno Asylum is, and then you use MapQuest and whatever the case may be, and you kind of move around to, using your brain to figure out where this graveyard would be, you'll find it. And it's actually called something different now. It's like the Illinois State Veterans Memorial Graveyard or something along those lines. I can't remember what it's exactly called, but it has ties to Manteno Asylum. And we can't get in there at night because they gated off. And it's guarded by Manteno Police Department. So how are we supposed to do an investigation there without actually going to jail or, being shoved off within our first 5 minutes or whatever the case may be? We wanted to do this investigation for you guys. We really, really did. We put a ton of effort into it. But once we actually, weighed in the problems that come with it, we don't make millions of dollars a year here, people. We're still small-time guys. We can't afford to go and do this and, face the repercussions of it. We just can't do it.
And Tim, I really don't know the religious affiliation of the cemetery. And as far as it is Baptist?
Yes, it is Baptist.
Okay. And he also asked if there was a Wiccan church tied to the land before it became a graveyard.
No. There's no other church that is actually tied to what you're talking about, the graveyard for Manteno?
Yes.
For the graveyard for Manteno, it has been Baptist since the day that it was resurrected. So no, there is no other affiliation or anything else to that nature. It has always been Baptist. To this day, it is still a Baptist graveyard, and because of the other affiliations of the people that are buried there, that's why they are unmarked graves. I know I said that I wouldn't say a number earlier, but at the end of the day, I think it's somewhere between 200 to 300 unmarked graves that are there at that site. That's off of Google, so I'm going off of what they say. And what is the people? I'm rather curious. There's some people that actually sat here and said that, they put the laughing emoji. What are you laughing about? What exactly have we said that is so funny?
No, there's no record of any Wiccan rituals.
No,
on the land before the graveyard.
None. No, there is absolutely none.
I believe before the place was resurrected, it was just a big farming community. So.
Yes, very much. So that.
Yeah, and then we also talked about the boys' school in Cedar Lake. what the hell is
That
that?
is awesome.
What the hell is that? The Celestian. That's it. The Celestian Boys School in Cedar Lake.
That place is so...
That is...
I would love to do a live show there.
Me too, but that's going to take a lot of strategic planning in order to get back there.
I reached out to the owner of that property, and I never got a message back. I have been there, obviously illegally, so cops come and get me. There you go. I've been there illegally twice, and that place is amazing. You guys have to see that place if you can. They originally said that the gymnasium was the place where a lot of things had happened and everything else like that. The gymnasium is, as of today, completely torn down or completely, just fell down. When we went into the gymnasium, it was pretty rough to begin with, but the school was still very, very much intact. The basement remnants of the house or of the school was chained up. You couldn't get into the basement, but the upper levels had some very, very spooky things going on. That place is just crazy. I would suggest that to any serious paranormal investigator ever. The guy who bought that, I'll be honest, you have yourself a gold mine and you don't even know what you've got. So you should have people paid to come in and investigate that property. You really should.
Yeah, but I'm sure the insurance liability wouldn't be worth it for him.
Well, as far as that building is concerned, the building is structurally, that building is very, very sound.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they're still.
But they're still.
I mean, at the very least, like, you can write up a waiver.
Yeah,
and I mean, a waiver written up and.
Right, and I mean, and the big thing is
the same thing with fucking Mantino.
Right.
I was more than happy to write up a legal waiver, to sign off whatever liability, sign away whatever liability that those owners had. They wouldn't bite. So.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about this though. Like when we went in there illegally, like you see blood on the walls, you see where people were killed and everything else like that. I mean, it's obvious when you walk into certain classrooms of that school. That place is totally amazing. And you get a serious feel on it. But I mean, as far as structurally sound, that place is pretty sturdy for being, built over a river, lake, whatever it is that you want to call it. I mean, a stream, whatever. It's pretty damn structurally sound, and I felt no danger at any time actually being in that building. And if some of you here in the area remember when that place was first bought, he actually made it a haunted house, and you were able to walk the levels of the place, and people flocked to that place to actually do the haunted house. And it was structurally sound enough to hold 100 people, so I'm assuming it would be structurally sound enough to hold 2 to 3 to maybe 10 people of a crew to actually do an investigation of that place. But the problem is getting a hold of the owner. Like I said, I reached out to the owner. I found him on Facebook. I wrote him a Facebook message telling him that we were strongly interested in doing a full-fledged investigation of that area. And we would agree to any of the terms that he had set forth, and I never got a message back. So that's pretty much where we're at as far as that Celestian school. I love the place. I love just driving by the place. It's a really, really different feeling just driving by the place. And that brings us up to another place that we've gone to is the Cherville Cemetery.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you had to know because that place
that's
is
the weirdest.
just.
And that's the weirdest fucking thing. First time we go there, there's 3 mausoleums. Well, not mausoleums. They're what's the better word for it? They're tombs.
They're tombs.
Okay, and these tombs lead down into.
You guys want to say hi to my dog? Hi, buddy. I'm sorry. He's a video hound. Oh my God! You moose! Stop! God, you stink. Go.
All right.
You got such bad breath. Thank you.
Yeah. Basically, these tombs
Right
lead
back.
down into an underground, like basically catacombs,
Yes.
where they have the priests and all that from the parish buried. The one tomb, it's as soon as you come through the gate, it's right there off the side road. It was
Dude, just thinking of that place is giving me the goosebumps. That is the worst place I think I've ever been to date.
the shit. First time we walked in there.
Shit, yeah.
I'm just saying.
For me, that's
No.
the worst place
That was
I've
that
ever
was
been.
in agreement.
Oh, okay. That's
First
the,
walk in there, and you try and walk up to that tomb. It's almost like something sticks its hand, sticks right in the middle of your chest and stops you, and you can't approach it, and you just get this feeling of dread. And all right, I don't give a shit how dark it is. All right, when there's
you have a
when there's
feeling that
little
you
bit of
should
ambient
not
light,
fucking be there. Like, and that's the harshest that you can make it. Like, you need to get the fuck out of here now.
yes,
Like, you lose control of your bodily functions to a point that for people who think that they're tough guys or whatever the case may be, you feel something that you should not be feeling. When the second you walk past that gate towards that tomb, there is something seriously, seriously wrong.
Shelley, I'll touch on that question in a second, but that tomb. Now there's ambient light behind you, so obviously there's going to be light shining into the tomb.
Yeah.
As soon as you hit that wrought iron gate, because it's just an archway with a wrought iron gate in front of it.
Yeah,
You should be able to see right in there, especially with the ambient light behind you.
check it out.
It was pitch black.
Yeah, check it out. Okay, now think of watching Lord of the Rings and you see Frodo's house. Okay? When you see Frodo's house, like it was covered in grass and everything else like that, and it was a stone house, right? So think of Frodo's house with a wrought iron gate in front of it, and you have 2 windows
Yes.
covered with wrought iron gates going into this tomb. So during the day or the night, you're going to have artificial light because there's a street light that's sitting right outside.
They got lights in the cemetery.
And lights in the cemetery.
Yeah.
But no light would actually enter this place. None. But when you actually shine like a flashlight through the wrought iron gate, you can actually see, if you went to the left,
There's an opening.
you'd
and
see
there's
an
stairs going
opening
down.
and you'd see a spiral stairway going down underground somewhere. But there was nothing inside that tomb.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, the reason why we know that is because the last time we went, again, this was around the time that we just started kicking around the idea of investigating again.
Yeah.
And we wanted to take a ride.
Yep.
Now before, the first time we went, on the way there, no bad feelings, no nothing, it was just a regular drive up.
Yep.
This time, we're about 4 blocks away and the both of us got this just deep feeling of dread.
Yep.
His back started hurting.
Yep.
My teeth started hurting.
Yep.
4 blocks away, we're like, okay,
We were screaming bloody. Basically, you have the 2 biggest guys that you've actually ever seen sitting there screaming bloody murder that we should not be doing this.
Yes.
But yeah,
we actually
keep on
circled
driving,
the place 3 times before we even stopped. That's how bad those feelings
We were total bitches. Total bitches.
Walking up.
Like, I called my wife and said, you know, if something happens to me, I'm sorry. Literally. I mean, we stopped at a gas station.
Yeah.
To get, like, our last pack of smoke. And this is no bullshit. This is, like, the stupidest thing that you've ever heard. But we stopped at a gas station before we actually went to this graveyard because we were feeling so bad. Got our last pack of smokes. He made his last phone call. I made my last phone call. And then we went to the fucking graveyard because we literally felt that that was going to be our last phone calls. And then we went to this stupid-ass graveyard.
But the really, really fucked up part about it is, when we finally parked, we're walking up the street to get to this graveyard. We're chilled up. We're all that. As soon as we crossed that threshold into the graveyard, it all went away. All those bad feelings went away. Going up to that tomb was like nothing. Hanging our heads over the gate, looking in. It was nothing. You know, we couldn't figure it out. As soon as we crossed that threshold back onto the sidewalk outside of the cemetery, those feelings came right back. Walking back to the car, I got shoved.
Yep. I remember that.
It's like 2 hands in the middle of my back.
Yeah,
shoved me. I
like
almost fell on my face.
Yeah, because like you ran into my truck. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm sitting on the driver's side. I'm like, what the hell is the matter with you? And I just got shoved. I'm like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. He did. He seriously did. It was one of those times. It was just like, yeah, we're getting in the truck right now and we're going, because the whole night was just completely. It was bass backwards.
Yeah.
Because anybody else that we had ever taken to that site, it was immediate. Like, they wanted to leave. They were in tears. They were pissing their pants. They were losing bodily functions. We need to go now.
When I was married, I took my wife at the time. I took her there during the day. Because she didn't, she's one of these, she's a skeptic because she's afraid of it. All right? She's even told me that. She doesn't want to believe it because it scares her. So I took her during the day, and the path in front of these tombs is actually the Stations of the Cross. So you're able to walk up on top of the hill, follow the stations, come back around. It's a beautiful cemetery. It really is.
Yes, it is.
But we had no feelings. I mean, nothing, right? As soon as we passed that tomb, she felt something tugging on the top of her hair, like somebody was playing with it. And she's like, did I just walk under a tree? And the damn branch is 6 feet above her head, And as soon as she asked me if she ran into a tree, we heard child laughter behind us. It was actually pretty cool. And that was during the day. And the shit we're talking about, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I mean, God knows what the hell happens at midnight or 3 in the morning in that place.
Go to bed. Now, kind of the same story. Before I actually got with Joe, I was with another person, and you can argue with me if you want on YouTube or whatever the case may be. His name was Russell Gregson and Aaron Tanzas. We started up Northwest Indiana Paranormal Society, and we went to a bunch of different places and everything else like that. We never went to Indiana Bridge, I can tell you that. But we did go to this Cherville Cemetery. Russ and Aaron lasted all of about 2 minutes, and the investigation was done. It was over. They passed the gate into the cemetery that is basically right next to this tomb, and they stopped dead in their tracks. They did not want to go any farther. They started getting emotional. they started getting very, very scared, started losing control of bodily functions, and we had to leave. So the place is, for some reason, it's legit. At least that's what I would say. But the last time that we went there, it was really, really weird.
So everything was outside of the cemetery,
outside instead of inside, like it was cast out or something.
That's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if the priest actually banished it from the cemetery and pushed it out. Because everything that we experienced the last time we were there was outside of the cemetery.
Right, and see,
I mean,
that's the
to
other
the
thing.
point where I actually busted out the digital recorder to try and catch an EVP on something because it was that strong.
Right, and
Got
see,
nothing, but,
that's the other thing
know.
that I also I suggested to you when we were there is that the grounds had changed a little bit, like the church
They
had
added
moved,
more light.
or they
did.
something about the area had changed.
They added more light.
So I mean, on that, you know, there could have been a lot
Because now
of
there
other
was
things
actually like
done.
a light shining into the tomb.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And see, there could be a lot of other things done, but for anybody that's here in the Northwest Indiana area, I would strongly suggest to go there.
I think it's called St. Michael's Church.
Yeah,
It's right off Route 30.
You are 100% right. Well, it's not right off of Route 30.
Roughly. It's that jog
roughly
around over
there.
by the
If anybody needs
the RV park.
Yeah,
The RV store.
Yeah, if anybody actually needs directions that is in our area that would like to go there, please contact us. We'll go ahead and we'll give you directions to get there. Go at your own risk. I'm going to tell you that right now because I mean there are signs everywhere that says "Do not enter" and everything else of that nature. So, and the police station is a block away. So you're doing it at your own risk.
For our YouTube followers, I'll drop our email down in
Big
the
moose.
in the description. If you drop us an email, I'd be more than happy to answer it. Well, also,
Sit
if you
down.
guys enjoyed this video, I know it's an hour and a half in. I should have said this before. Go ahead, drop us a like and a subscribe button. This way you guys see everything that we investigate, all of our podcasts, and so you don't miss anything good.
Yeah, and anything that you guys want us to actually, investigate or research or anything to that nature, we have a lot of time on our hands. I mean, there are three of us. One of us, he doesn't count. There are three of us, and one of us always has a lot of time and does a lot of investigations for us. Actually, there's four of us. I shouldn't say that there's three. But, the other two do a lot of investigations when we can't do them. So we don't take your questions, just half-assed. We investigate everything that you guys want us to do very, very seriously. The next podcasts, I mean, we plan on talking about the Conjuring House. We plan on talking about the Amityville House, the Warrens,
Indiana Bridge,
Cozy Chapel, Frodo Baggins. I'm sure there's going to be,
unless he does something stupid.
unless he
Between
does
the next
something
time,
stupid.
I think
The
we've got him enough.
Hosier Files is something that him and I have actually discussed, and I don't mean any trademark problems or anything else to that nature. But the Hosier Files right now are very, very interesting to us because they just seem very, very legit.
Yeah. I would actually recommend watching the show.
Yes, I will. Yes,
because
very
they
much.
actually dive into. I think his name is Hans Holzer. Was the original investigator from back in like the 50s.
60s. 50s and 60s. Yes.
Where they had a psychic medium who they actually would record her, and she would take in these spirits and let them speak through her. It's quite interesting, and then they follow up and they do the same investigation that Hans Holzer did.
Go to bed.
Except with modern equipment and.
Go to bed.
One thing I don't agree with though is that
Go to bed.
their psychic is actually a comedian.
If you actually Google
So
her,
I don't know how
Yeah.
credible she could be. But.
That's the big problem with that whole show that I have is if you Google their psychic medium, she is actually listed as a comedian. No offense to you, and I'm not gonna say a name or anything else like that because I seriously mean zero disrespect. Like, from what I have actually seen of you on that show, I don't really have too much reason to doubt you. But on the same token, if I'm going to Google you and actually, do some research on you, you should not be listed as a freaking comedian. Now, I don't know if that is in your control or if it's out of your control, but it's something that you definitely need to look into because
it's kind of knocking into your credibility.
If somebody goes and looks me up and they're looking me up as a paranormal investigator and they see me as a comedian, that really doesn't do anything to help me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
I want to touch on Shelley's question about where we would find insurance for the Mantino investigation. And then I also want to touch on Cindy Booth's question.
Yeah.
She asked, what's your theory on shadow figures? I've never heard an explanation that makes sense to me.
Okay.
We're going to touch on that too. But Shelley, no, you can't buy the insurance through State Farm. We were able to get a quote. A friend of mine works for State Farm, and she's got connections, and she kind of got me in touch with a broker. Mm-hmm. He was able to draw up a liability policy, and
it was about $3,000.
It was $350 a person per day.
That's what it was. Yeah,
$350 per person per day. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry, but yeah,
we're not that big time enough to where we can actually afford that cost. So we're trying to be intelligent.
Yeah, So, and as far as insurance goes, if you're actually looking for specific policies, your best bet is to get in touch with an independent broker, because the big companies aren't going to touch it.
Right.
Tim, our YouTube channel is called Fourth Kind Profiles Southlake Paranormal.
Yeah.
Fourth Kind Profiles Southlake Paranormal.
The number 4 or the word fourth?
The number 4, TH. Fourth.
There you go. So you can find us on YouTube. Now, Cindy, wait a minute, Mom, where's what at? What are you talking about?
The cemetery. This was a while ago.
Oh, the cemetery, that's in Cherville. I can take you there anytime that you want because you and I still have a date to go to Posey. I need to take you there. Now, as far as what is your theory on shadow figures, I've never heard an explanation that makes sense to me. Okay. Do you want to hit the first shot on this, or you want me to? Okay.
A shadow figure is pretty much just another form of spirit. They're not necessarily malevolent. They're not necessarily good. It's just another form of spirit. And that's how they're able to manifest.
Communicate.
Yes. Some spirits take just a mist-like form, mist-like shape, like the white mist that you see.
Some take an orb.
Some take an orb, a light anomaly. Some take the shadow, whatever the human silhouette would be. It's just another way for them to manifest. They use energies. They fuel themselves off of ambient energy. That's why sometimes when you're doing an investigation and you get about halfway through and you're just drained. Like every step feels like your feet weigh 200 pounds. Because there's something there that's pulling from your energy trying to manifest. And it's the same thing with shadow figures. That's the best they can do. That's what they know how to do, how to manifest.
Okay. Are you finished now?
Have at it,
okay. My suggestion on, or my theory on shadow figures is pretty much the same thing, but it has a little bit of a difference in it. My theory on shadow figures are people that have just passed, that are like, if you're standing in the bathroom and you hear your name called, which I have. So that has happened to many people that I have talked to before.
My mother has a smell.
Yes,
not an odor where she stinks.
Yeah, you have certain.
But she has.
You have certain smells. You have certain smells that you recognize. You have certain sounds that you recognize. You have certain songs that you recognize. You have, all of a sudden you hear your voice whispered, like you're being called in a whisper. Those are the people that have just passed and have a little bit more leeway and or power than your people that, if you want to take this in a religious area, that have passed into purgatory just yet. Those shadow figures you should take deep consideration in and deep what's the word I'm looking for, interest in, because those are someone that is connected to you, period. They're not there for no reason. I've never came across a case of a report of a shadow figure of it being malevolent. I've never came across of a report of a shadow figure being bad.
I've come across one that's been mischievous.
Well, like I say,
you
and I have investigated two different sides of the spectrum. So I'm not saying that I'm 100% right, but I'm just saying, what I've looked at, I've never came across anything being bad. He's saying he has come across something being bad.
Yeah, and John Paul Petrovic, if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's
called Valhalla.
Well, that's
no, that's Valhalla is a location, a mortal location, not the one you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, at the end of the day, as far as my research has gone, it's been people that have just passed, that have a little bit more of an intuit, huh?
It's fucking needy tonight.
Oh yeah, he's all about daddy tonight. If you guys can see, okay, so y'all think Rottweilers are, bad? Come here.
What? I just want to lay down.
Come here. Goofball. My mother loves this dog. Come on, go to bed. Go to bed. Sorry.
He needs a bath.
But, yeah, he does need a bath. Stinky mutt. But, in my experience, it's people that have just passed that still have that little range, before they reach purgatory or before they reach where they're supposed to go. That's my experience, and that's my research. You can agree with it or you can't agree with it. I mean, I'm open to suggestion on that. But I've come into, experiences in houses that I've lived in, and all of a sudden had my name whispered behind me, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? And I'm sure a lot of other people have as well. But, I mean, the shadow figure is the same. It comes along the same guidelines. If I can hear you, then obviously a shadow figure is something that I can see. So that's my explanation of it, Cindy. He's a spoiled child. Don't talk about my dog, Tim. You have never met him. Shut up.
But, yeah, he is.
I know where it is. I can end because I took care of a man that's there. Mom has,
She knows somebody's buried there.
yeah, she can go in there anytime she wants.
They close at dusk. It doesn't matter.
True, he's got a point, Mom. So you really don't have an end. So, but I understand. I understand what you're saying. So we've gone on this. What about
Hour 45.
hour 45? Almost 2 hours. Joe, you told me in your own words he's spoiled. Yeah, he's spoiled. Quit talking about my dog. So what the next episode, or do we want to keep going? Do we want to talk about what's going to be on the next episode, or do we have enough people here that actually are interested and we can just keep on going here?
Well, let's open it up to some questions. Do a little Q&A.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe give a little background on us for our YouTube followers.
Makes more sense than I've heard before. Well, thank you, Cindy. I would hope that we would actually, be honest enough and actually kind of try to make sense to you. Instead of leading you on like, Frodo. Oh, did I say Frodo? I said Frodo.
Yeah.
Frodo! I said, I didn't even again.
Alright, let's get off his nuts for now.
He's nuts? Wow.
Anyway.
You bastard.
Alright, guys. Is there any more... you guys have any more questions for us or anything like that? Maybe add a little bit more insight for our new YouTube followers?
Yeah, we are going to be...
Because this live feed is going to be on YouTube.
That's actually pretty messed up because I don't know if any of you actually seen that, but I just seen an orb actually go past our screen.
You sure it wasn't just
I'm 100% positive that
well, I guess we'll find out when we go over the footage.
it just went by twice again. So that's kind of... Go to bed.
Alright.
Moose, go to bed.
Okay, so a little bit of background
Go to bed.
on Joe and myself. We are from the Chicagoland area. I was a mechanic for about 15 years. I'm now a steel worker.
Yep.
Joe is still a mechanic. He's been doing it about 20 years now.
Yep, I suck.
Both have
Moose,
families.
Bed.
Oh, your mom said she saw it. She saw the anomaly.
Go across the screen?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Told you.
Apparently, we just had an anomaly caught.
And now,
I gotta get it out. And then an enemy.
Alright,
We just had a light anomaly caught coming across our Facebook live feed.
Okay, Nemo. Where another one? I just seen another one. God damn it.
So. Well, yes, well, that's us. Yeah, and we are as stupid in person as we are on video. Yeah.
Yeah, the way that Joe and I actually met was kind of weird, to say the least. I ended up, yeah, you've seen that too. See?
Told you.
I ended up hiring him because of just somebody that you saw one though?
No, Shelly said she saw smoke go across the screen, so I just figured I'd show her my cigarette.
I ended up hiring him because somebody told me he was a good guy. And at that time I was manager, assistant manager. I was someone high up, and I just kind of pushed my weight and hired him in, and him and I had ended up becoming like the best of fucking friends. And those goddamn cheeseburger pickle sandwiches from, what was that, Sharky's or
Spanky's.
Spanky's, yeah. we would
chicken wings.
Yeah, we would order those every fucking day, and if it wasn't that, it was KFC. KFC buckets for lunch, and I mean, him and I actually had the best time, and we ended up becoming really, really good friends. And
shit, we almost moved in together.
Yeah, then we ended up becoming security guards together. Then we ended up almost moving in together, and there was just a lot of things. And then we started doing paranormal stuff together, and it stopped because of personal.
It stopped because of my personal bullshit.
No. It stopped because of personal endeavors. Because you and I started when I was married to my ex-wife, and I was having problems with my ex-wife, and you were having problems with your, at that time, current wife, and then I ended up getting remarried to my now awesome wife, and you were still having problems with your wife. So it just, it just was what it was. But once everything, once all the smoke cleared and everything like that, we ended up back together, and here we are. It's one of those friendships that weirdly started and weirdly has not died yet. So
I like how he throws in yet.
Yeah. So, well, we may come across a place that is. I always say yet. I mean,
yeah, I know.
It is what it is.
What's up, Johnny?
Best chicken wings and hot wings.
Spankies.
Where? Oh,
Spankies.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. And whatever it is that sandwich was that we kept on getting with like the pickles and everything else like that. Oh my God. Just phenomenal.
It's a Chicago Heights thing, guys.
Yeah, go figure. Here's this Indiana guy that like I know Chicago Heights food, and it's just like I love that shit. I saw smoke go across the screen.
Yeah, I told you that's when I showed her my cigarette.
Okay,
we're up to date. We're caught up.
All right, perfect. So
right,
anybody,
if anybody's got any questions, kind of type them out now. Let us know. This way we can answer them.
Or do you want to wait for our next episode? Do you guys have anything that you want us to hit on our next episode? New comment. Jacktown Burger.
That again, something else on the menu over there apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, John, I had made reference to Valhalla when we went in Shadow Figures, because one of our participants asked us about Shadow Figures, and immediately it just brought my mind right there. So I kind of threw a little reference into you on that one. So, all right. If nobody else has any questions, comments like that, we're gonna go ahead and log off.
What do you want the next episode to hit on? Let's give them a little preview.
Well, we'll probably end up talking about Indiana Bridge, which was kind of messed up.
Indiana Bridge is actually pretty awesome. When you actually come...
Yeah, but...
When you actually, look up the history of that place and everything else like that, that's a lot to actually hit. So, any of you... starting up paranormal researchers or anything else like that, I think that you should probably log into our next episode and find out about Indiana Bridge and give it a shot.
And if you guys do decide to check it out, make sure you have some kind of protection with you.
Yeah. That place is amazing. Not only is it amazing on the paranormal aspect, it's amazing on the historical aspect with Al Capone's mansion being out there.
Yeah.
That place is really, really cool. Just don't go screwing around with the mansion and the people who actually own the mansion, because you're not going to like your results. So
yeah, they shoot at you.
Yeah, but
anyway.
yeah.
we'll get into all that next podcast. So to our new subscribers, our new YouTube followers, thank you for sticking around with us for almost 2 hours. You get what you get. You know, we are just two regular guys that have a passion for this, and hope to see you guys next time.
Just to let you know, I know that this has been going on for 2 hours. For our YouTube followers, for our Facebook fans, you've had all the chances that you can get. So,
yes, leave comments, questions.
Our YouTube guys, if you have any questions for us, you have any comments, you have any theories, any places that you want us to investigate, whether physically or intellectually, we will give you the time. Just post under our podcast, follow our podcast, follow the subscription links, all that other type of stuff. We will get to you. I 100% promise you. It will either be myself, it will be the big guy, or it'll be the little woman. It's one of the three. We will get to you. I 100% promise you that. Actually, I think we 100% promise you that. This is not going to be a YouTube channel to where we're going to ask you to go to Patreon, or we're going to ask you to go to anything else to that nature. You subscribe, you ask us a question, you give us a theory, you give us something that you actually want us to look into, we will do it, period. Yeah. So just give us time. So we're going to do it as, a case-by-case basis. We're not going to just say, this is the first person that did it, this is the fourth person that did it, so we're going to investigate the fourth. No, we're going to go in order. So give us just a little bit of a time, and we will comment on it. We will keep you up to date on it. We will let you know.
I'm going to drop a link in the description for our Facebook page for Southlake Paranormal. This way you guys can join the page. Follow us on Facebook. Follow our live feeds when we do the investigations. I'll also drop a link down in the description with our email address. fourthkindprofiles@gmail.com. And anything else you guys want to know, again, drop it in the comments. We will get back to you. That's for sure. We're not like you said, we're not like the rest of these YouTubers out here. We are going to follow up with our followers and our subscribers.
Exactly.
Because if it wasn't for you guys, and if it wasn't for our followers over here on Facebook, we wouldn't be doing this. We don't get paid to do it. We don't charge to do it. If there is a specific investigation that's clear across country, then maybe we might talk about it. Because obviously that's, we're missing time off of work, and then there's travel expenses, stuff like that. And we are not high rollers.
Yeah, so if there's something that we can do, like on a weekend or something like that, and we can hit West Virginia or something like that, and be back by Sunday night, and be to work by Monday morning, we have absolutely no problems doing that. Even that, if there's a possibility to where we can make things work, we'll go farther. We don't have a problem doing that. But don't think that, don't think that we're out there looking for your money or looking for you to pay for us to do anything, okay? Once 2020 summer hits, we'll be back out here in our area, and you guys need to tune in and see what it is that we find. That's just all there is to it. But, at the end of the day, if we can make certain things work, Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, something like that, Illinois, and we can, be there and back by the weekend, we'll do it.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you'll get better results than any of these paranormal sites that you actually see on TV.